Hi guys, it's Olexandr here. Good morning. It's actually morning here. I don't know what time of the day you have there, but have a good one. And yeah, I was playing Battlefield 1 last night. Not sure what it has to do with this video though. But the theme of this video will be the template that I used to create my last Epic composing score and a video tutorial, which if you haven't seen, by the way, go click the link in the description and check it out. So the template I use for that, I will be completely overviewing in depth for this video, and also some of you asked me how to create such a template, and I will combine these two themes here in this video, and I will show you how I created it, and I will show in depth how it looks, so you'll have an understanding how to do it by yourself pretty easily. You may not have all the plugins that I have, but you know, you can just make it with your own or whatever you have available. So okay guys, so here's the overview. Basically what I did, I am building my template just so you know, I'm doing it like one by one. I am pretty lazy at that, and I'm not using like one contact instrument and split it into different channels. And luckily I have a pretty powerful machine computer to handle it, to compensate for my laziness. But that's how I do it. I load every instrument in every contact instance or complete control instance, which you have here because I have the complete control keyboard, and it's easier for me to use that. But you can use contact or even whatever sampler you use, like UVI or something like that. But yeah, the contact will be the most popular one for sure. So how I started, actually, I started with some thinking what kind of categories of instruments I want to use. And if it's an orchestra, surely you want some strings, some brass, some woodwinds, flute, percussion, pianos, some voices like choirs and stuff. Maybe to your taste you can add some more stuff like hybrid instruments there, or I don't know. But basically that covers all orchestra elements that you can utilize in that kind of production. So I started with strings, and the logic behind my template is I have a few sample libraries that I like, and I want to basically to use them all because each of them has their strength and weaknesses. So I like, once again, I have a pretty powerful machine, so it allows me to do that. Probably that's not something you can do, but if you can, that's the way I would do it, because it gives you some kind of creative freedom to just go and click to whatever instrument and choose it and load it up and just use it instantly. That gives you that freedom of choice. So I just thought, what libraries do I have? And I have Albion One, I have BBC Symphony Orchestra by Spitfire, I have Tina Guo 1 and 2, I have some East-West stuff, as I'm subscribed to East-West subscription, and I have some native instruments stuff like string ensemble, essentials, and yeah. And that goes for each category, which I show you later in the process. So when I started, I actually picked one, and I created a folder called strings, which you can do in Studio One by right-clicking and just adding a folder track. It's pretty easy. You can remove it too. And I created a folder and a subfolder which is named after the manufacturer or name of a library. So in that case, let's say this is Albion One. So let's go here, and what I did here is a pretty lazy approach. I just loaded every single patch from the strings that I can find in Albion One, and I'll show you just in a minute. So we have spiccatos, staccatos, pizzicatos, pizzicatos, col legno, I guess it's pronounced, longs, this stuff, tremolo, low octaves short and low octaves long. So that's the thing here. and it looks just like this. I load the complete control software, which basically gives you like a contact. Well, not exactly, but you still can load it in contact. It will probably be more beneficial if you don't have the complete control keyboard controller, but that's how I do it. So I loaded this thing and I just choose the library I want from my library, basically, and then I choose a preset. And let me just also show you how it's done using the contact. So I go to my instruments here, and let's say I just load the contact 5 here. You can just drag and drop. It's loading. For some reason it's loading longer than I expect. Okay, so it's done, and we go to the Spitfire here, Albion One, and you go to Albion One Orchestra, and basically you can just load whatever you want here. You can just load strings, and it will give you the choices of articulations inside of that patch. So you can choose the staccatos, then you load it again, and you can choose the legato patch, and you load it again, and you choose the pizzicatos, and you load it again. And this is the process to have all these individual sections here as a separate contact libraries. So if that's the route you want to take, that's the way to do it, and that's how I've done it. So it's finishing loading here. It just takes a minute. And this is what I was talking about. You just choose it here and you just load it as I did. But the difference is I'm just using the complete control software to do that. But basically it has all the variations, and I just load the ones I need here. So this is the spiccato strings. Let me get rid of this one. So the next one is staccato spiccato, which is a bit different. It's just the same library. I'll just show you the sounds quickly. Then you have the pizzicatos. This stuff. Long. Another long. Tremolo, low octaves, and low octaves long. So we are done basically with Albion One strings, and now we can move on to another library. So I'm thinking, okay, what another cool string libraries do I have here? And I think, oh, I have the BBC Symphony Orchestra sitting there from Spitfire. I just go the same process here. I load my complete control software, and I just go to the BBC Symphony Orchestra Pro. I also have the Core and Discover, but since I have the best version of it, I have the Pro and I use that. But you can use the Discover or Core just the same way. I guess it just have some maybe not less quality samples, but maybe less sample data and a bit more simple sounding, but it has some cool sounds too, so I recommended it. And it's also free, so you just absolutely can use it. And I'm using the same thing here. So if you look at it, it has like split in sections like violins 1, violins 2, then it has like violas and violas leader. Leader is like a solo instrument, and you have the cello and bass, and yeah, so basically it's just the same process. Let me show you the sounds here. Let me just increase the buffer size because I was... Oh no, it's okay. Maybe it's because I'm recording in 5K or something. So this is the bass leader, which is solo bass, and also like a combination of basses. So yeah, it's all done with Symphony Orchestra here. So the next thing is the Tina cello, which is actually pretty cool. And I have it loaded in a contact because I probably wasn't able to find it in Complete Control software. So I use a combination. You see, it's a Complete Control or Contact, whatever. It just all works fine. So then I go to the Tina 2, which has a bit expanded sound library and some more stuff. I love this one. So this one is pretty cool. So that's about cellos. And then I think I need some violins also, because you know, maybe some solo violin. And the East West has some pretty cool violin here. So you know, this is a sustain. Yeah, so you can play some really like solo violin stuff, which can be useful. And the last one I think I needed to add, it's my like a go-to of the simplest, if that's the word, libraries. And this is the String Ensemble Essentials by Native Instruments. It comes with your complete 12 and 13 or whatever package, and it has already like this combined all-in-one kind of stuff where you have all the sections laid out for you. So if you open this ensemble, it has the all sections, and if you want individual sections, you just go to basses, cellos, violas, violins 1, 2, and whatever. So this is also what I did here. I just loaded the ensemble because I don't find using this much, because I have all this more advanced stuff. But in any case, you can just switch to whatever you need here. And I have some like trills, because I like the sound, and maybe staccatos because it's also pretty cool. So yeah, pretty cool sound. So, and I think we're done here with the strings, so we can close it and we go to the brass. And the process is actually very similar. I have the Albion One, Impact Soundworks, BBC, Analog Brass and Winds, which is from Native Instruments, the Pop Brass, which is from East West, the Majestica from ADO, and Audict Master Brass, which is also a cool thing. And yeah, so we have Albion One, and the process is just the same. I don't know, guys, if it's worth to spend the time in showing each thing here, but yeah, you know the process. I just load everything I can find, all the highs, all the high shorts, high longs, then I go to mids, all the mid shorts, mid longs, mid legatos, like different sections, like mid short string slows, like kind of mix of strings and brass, and then lows, some low nasty sounds. It's all there, you can just all find it there. Yeah, so that's with Albion One. It's still one of my favorite libraries, by the way. And then we go to Impact Soundworks here, and which is basically one instrument here, and it's called Mega Brass. And I guess I found it as a free download. I don't mean I pirated it, I mean it was available from them as some kind of special or something, and or was it coming as a bundle with it? I don't remember actually, but I got it from their website, and it's a pretty cool plugin. I was showing it more in my tutorial, how it can add this hybrid brass kind of thing, and you can go watch that tutorial if you haven't. And I just loaded it as a contact instrument here, as you can see. Then we go to BBC Symphony Orchestra, and the way they split up things is just horns, trombones, trumpets, and tubas. So that's what I did here. Let me open something. It's a combination of horns, then trombones, combination of trombones, trumpet, more trumpets, and tubas. Yeah, so the process is just the same, but the thing here is that, yeah, the thing here is just the same. Anyway, it's saving all my 100 tracks. Thanks for that. So we close this and we go to the analog brass and winds, which is another cool thing from Native Instruments, I guess. No, it's from Output. I apologize. And this is really great sound. Yeah, I can play it just for days, I guess. Yeah, so I just loaded it as a complete control instance as well, and it has all kind of patches you can choose from, and I just use one instance because clearly I don't want to load all that as individual ones because my computer will explode and I just don't need it. So I use one, and if I more need some more instruments, I just load more, you know. So let's go next one, and this is stuff from East West. It's called Pop Brass. It's kind of more poppy sounding. It's pretty cool. Probably I can use it for more kind of aggressive pop brass sounds and maybe for some more pop. I don't know. But it can be useful. If you don't need any kind of track, you can just freeze it so it don't consume your memory and CPU. You can do that anytime as well. And the next one is Majestica. And why I have Majestica here? It is because it's probably the most massive sounding orchestra, and that's how it maybe is, because it was marketed as like the largest orchestra ever sampled. I don't know if that's true, but what is true, it sounds really big and massive. And we can just go here and check it out. It's pretty huge sound. It doesn't sound as itself pretty huge, but in the mix it really is like very cutting through the mix with this aggressive attack and everything. And you know why it's sounding so thin? Because I have some EQs in it. It's a little bit better. But you see, this session is already pre-mixed just a bit. Because why I'm not seeing it on every channel? Because I am showing now all the channels I have, and for the mixing tutorial I wasn't using all channels, but for this purpose I'm showing everything. So yeah, this is the Majestica, and the next one is the Audic Master Brass, which is pretty cool. It's probably not that popular as some others, but it has one of the best sounds for my experience. And this is, just check this octahorn legato patch here. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And the legato patches is great. Oh, I guess I hit some key switch. It's not legato anymore, but anyway, you got the idea. So you see I have all the individual articulations loaded. Yeah, I messed up with some key switches because I was just playing low on my keyboard. But yeah. So you see some libraries have better like brass, some libraries have better strings, and you can mix and match, and whatever suits your kind of project. You never know what can come handy at the moment, so that's why I do and why I keep them all here together. So the next one we go is the Woodwinds, and actually the process is pretty simple. I go to Albion One because I want to load everything out of it, and it has the woodwinds, a few sections like highs, legato long and short, arrange long, and lows. I'm not sure why this is not playing. Probably it's even lower on the keyboard and can't reach it right now. So yeah, you got the idea here too. It's all loaded in the complete control software as usual. And the next one is BBC Symphony Orchestra. It's just the, just to save you time guys, it's just the woodwinds section, and it has clarinets, contrabass, bassoons, contrabassoons, and all that other stuff, yeah. So that's the process here. And next we go to flutes, and for flutes I use the BBC Symphony Orchestra exclusively, probably because I don't use flutes as much overall, and it has a pretty cool ones. It's pretty beautiful. I hope I won't get banned for that. I mean, copyright strike. If you guys know where's the melody from, post in the comments. Let's see how many of you fans of this thing are there. Okay, so the flutes combination and piccolos. Yeah, I like that. And we're getting pretty close to the end of this. And the next one is the percussion. And for percussion, I like to keep a few different libraries, like action strikes for kind of bread and butter thing, and the damage, and BBC Symphony Orchestra for more real stuff, and damage is more for the hybrid stuff if I'm into that kind of production. And rise and hit is for all kinds of rises and hits and swooshes and all that kind of goodness. So in action strikes, I like to load practically everything they have available. It's like they have a few patches. It's ensemble, it's hits, and it's instrument. That's what you're getting in the contact. And also separately, I just loaded the tambourine because I like it, and the snare ensemble because I like it. So the ensemble is like a combination of already pre-mapped instruments, and it already sounds huge, and you can use it like instantly. The hits is all kinds of cool hits, which you can use separately and add some interesting elements. to your productions, like hits, obviously. The instrument is just you choose the individual instruments inside of it, and you have quite a few. So you just choose it here and you go with it. And the tambourine is just a tambourine, and the snare is just a snare, but a good one. So that's for the action strikes. And the damage, well, you know what the damage is. I just loaded some kind of hybrid kit here. It's loaded in a complete control, so it's all here, and I use it for my keyboard with all the key switches and stuff. But yeah, you need to have the keyboard for that. And the NKS thing from Native Instruments helps to integrate it with your keyboard and with other third-party manufacturers of instruments, so it's all nicely displayed on your keyboard. You can see what you're doing. So the next one of percussion is the BBC, and this one is for timpani, which is quite unique because why this one is cool is because you can control it with your modulation wheel in a very cool way. Not every plugin and timpani instrument allows you to do that. Many are like pre-recorded where you press the note and it already has a fixed length, and here you can just make any length. You can just put the note and it's just like infinite. And I find it pretty cool because sometimes you need to make the timpani roll short, and sometimes you need it long, and you never know. And with this, I can just make whatever lengths I need. And same goes for cymbals here, I guess. It has a few patches here which I can control. Some of them are like pre-made, and some of them I can control with my modulation wheel as well. So that's what I'm using here. It also has some other instruments, obviously, like percussion, like xylophones, cellos, marimbas, harps, glockenspiels, tubular, which are pretty cool here. Some untuned percussions, which are also pretty cool. So yeah, I won't load it anything like all together because I just don't need it as much, and I try to keep my template as small as possible, as ironic it sounds, but anyway, you got the idea. Yeah, because my computer just will explode, as I said. And the last one here is rise and hit, and I have already pre-made a few washes. So this is like the first one, and this is the second one, and I use them in a combination as my kind of custom patch in few of my productions. So that's the rise and hit, and I can at any time just modify it or choose a different patch or whatever. So we're done with the percussion now. Let's go to the pianos, and I have a few of my favorites, and the reason I have a few is because they have all different characters, and the grounder is just it's like one of my all-time favorites. It just can make almost any sound you want from the piano, because it is a big classic grand piano. You can tweak it however you want, and this is pretty cool. Yeah, but that's not the topic of this video, of tweaking the grounder, so let's just show you quickly here. The noir is very cool too. It's just a beautiful sound. It's a bit different from the grounder, and it has some more advanced and modern kind of engines, like particles engines. You can mix and match, and it's cool to have that kind of a piano in your template. And this one is from Omnisphere, basically from the Keyscape, and this is like the Yamaha C7 or whatever it's called, the famous Yamaha grand piano. And this is the studio one. get the idea. It's not the most like realistic sounding, in my opinions, contrary to what many say that keyscape pianos are the most realistic. It's not for me, but in the mix they do the job pretty well. And why I'm also saying that, because I don't like that some of patches are recorded in the way that you hear lots of I don't know how to call it. It's like a very high-pitched hiss sound, or I don't know, maybe you can hear it. I can recall what patch is it on actually, probably on this. But anyway, if you can hear it or not, I found that if you just bring down the release noise, it goes away. But that's something about how it is recorded. It's just my, I don't know, personal quirk or something. Most people like don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure why I'm having, but that's just maybe because I'm a pianist and I just don't want that sound there. But anyway, it has nothing to do with the topic of this video. Okay, and the last one is actually voices, and I just have one Omnisphere choir here, and it's just the most amazing choir ever created by humanity. I just can play it all day. It's so good. It's my favorite one. So yeah, so this is basically my tutorial here, guys, and this is how I structured it. So you can see it's all complete controls. It's like the contact and keyscape and Omnisphere. You can't see nothing but that. And regarding my mixing, you see that my mixing was pretty basic in this tutorial, but it gets the job done. It's actually the EQ and the compressor, which I use, and the reverbs. And I create, basically what I do, I create the long reverb and a short reverb. I'm not sure if I was doing that in this video. Probably I have one reverb here. Yeah, I have the only one here, but sometimes I like to create a short one and a long one and use it on different instruments, and that also saves you the computing power. And if you're just using it, the reverb on every insert, you will just run to death your computer very fast. And if you're just using a few sets of the effects tracks like a buses, it'll just work fine. So that's what I'm doing here. And yeah, you can see the mixing is pretty basic, but the reason I'm not keeping many of this in the template, because probably some productions will require a bit different EQing or compressing, and I don't want to kind of be fixed by this, or I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes, sometimes it's just easier to do a clean slate mixing, but this could also work. I have done templates with pre-mixed, and if I'm doing the same kind of production, certainly it will work just fine, and you can also change it at any time. Basically, if you don't want that, you can just make this or whatever. And also what I found recently, I can use macros in Studio One. Probably I'm the only one who found out that I can do that, because Studio One has it like for years. But right now I can just press 1 on my keyboard, and it just loads my like go-to plugins that I use on every channel. It's like the Virtual Mix Rack, the Pro Q, and the Pro C, and I can just do that easily with one click, so I can replicate my typical chain here, so that's not a problem for me. And yeah, so basically that's it. And for the mastering, I have this here, which I've created in my Epic Composing tutorial, but certainly you can use whatever you need. And it will change depending on the project. I'm just leaving it here for now because anyway, it's just the set of instruments I probably will use, but the settings on each of them probably will be different depending on the production. But yeah, anyway, you got the idea. So this is my template. So once again, this is how I did it, and I just showed how I'm loading instruments here, and I am doing it all separately. This is not the tutorial to show you the complex way of doing it with MIDI channels. I was doing that before, and I found that it's not the most reliable way for me too, probably because of Studio One. Sometimes I was like reloading the template and all the channels were kind of messed up for some reason, and some instruments won't play or will be on different channel, and it gets kind of tricky to track down what is where in the if something goes bad. And you can't go wrong if you have everything loaded separately, but you do need to have a bit more powerful machine for that. Yeah, so that's the thing that I was doing here. So okay guys, I hope this template, I hope this video was useful for you. And by the way, post in the comments if you want me to make this template available on my website. I will probably think about that, adding it to the shop and putting maybe some, I don't know, maybe for free, maybe for some very affordable price, because I've spent probably like 2 days on that, like not full days, but it was like a good maybe 6 hours or maybe like 5, I don't know. Anyway, spend some time on it. But just let me know if you want it. I'll think maybe I'll do it for free. And yeah, let me know if that was useful, or I have done something different maybe, or if you want some theme to get covered, as always, just post in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.